one, slow one with the effing part. Fast 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 one, slow one with the effing part.
Brought to you by Sprite. It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal on 2K Sports, and the NBA season is about to begin. Tonight, it'll be the Memphis Grizzlies up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And taking a look here at the Timberwolves, it won't be an easy place to open their season. That crowd is going to be hostile with a capital H. It's going to make the challenge of picking up win number one that much greater. Hey, Shaq, how about Marc Gasol, who was the 48th overall pick back in 2007, once traded for his brother Pau, and he has really emerged as one of the best centers in the game.
Yeah, and it's hard to see how he went so overlooked, but he's lost a bunch of weight. Now he's very light on his feet and a great player for his size. He is the master of feet work this year. He has a plethora of moves.
There you go again with this feet work thing. Isn't it footwork, Shaq?
Feet work. Footwork is one move, like one dance step, like 1, 2. Feet work is break dance, pop lock, this, bat, ba-ding, ba-ding.
All I have is footwork then. It's almost game time. Let's go to Kevin Harlan.
Let's meet your Memphis Grizzlies. Number 21, Tayshaun Prince. Number 5, Courtney Lee. Number 11, Mike Conley. Number 50, Zach Randolph. Number 33, Marc Gasol. Your head coach is David Yeager.
This is it, opening day. The regular season is set to begin, and we're thrilled to bring you all the live action right here on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with my broadcast partners, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. Man, can you feel the excitement in the air? Tip-off goes to Minnesota. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Minnesota, Rubio and Martin manning the backcourt. Wiggins is out there with Young. And it's Pekovic in at the 5 spot. And it's Wiggins missing. On defense, Minnesota. Lee with the ball. And it's Martin picking him up. Conley gets the bucket.
Poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at that three-point shot.
Minnesota with the ball. It's a 3-point game. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Memphis.
And last year, boy, it was fun watching these two teams get together. They split the season series. Very even matchup. Well, Zach Randolph enjoying the best years of his career and most sustained success in Memphis. A tricky choice for him this offseason, deciding whether to opt out of the final year of his contract or to become a free agent.
Here's Rubio. Michael Conley making his last shot. Martin attacking. Some solid defense from Randolph.
Still can't get anything going here after 3 tries.
Conley kicks to Randolph. Lee outside. Prince with it. Now defended by Wiggins. And Gasol gets it to go. Gasol's got his first points of the game. And Memphis opting to re-sign Zach Randolph, Clark, this offseason. Nice to see him back in a Grizzlies uniform.
Yeah, I agree with you there, partner. It seems like he and that city are a terrific match. Grit and grind, Zebo doing his work on the glass and from the low block either side. And that duo of him and Gasol, that's one of the more entertaining big men pairs in the league.
Formidable, you're right.
Yep.
Conley, the pass to Lee. Kicks to Randolph. From 8. Rebound, Minnesota. Martin with it. Rubio outside. Young sets a screen for Rubio. Back to Martin. Puts up a 3. And Lee pulls it down.
They've had a cold start so far. Just 1 of 5 from the floor here early.
Gasol inside. Covered by Pekovic. Here's Prince. And the layup falls.
They're off and running. Good start here. They've knocked down 4 of their first 5.
And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
A shot by Randolph. Nobody around. And that one falls coming off Conley's feet. Well, the problem was clear last year with the Wolves and what they lacked. Interior defense. Yep. So many baskets. Clark giving up at the rim by it.
And in transition as well, Kevin. They were in the bottom 3 in points in the paint and fast break points against. Hard to win consistently with those numbers.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Flip Saunders. And Doris, what'd you find out?
On his mind, the difficult task of defending Zach Randolph. He said Randolph's especially tough because he's not only a go-to scorer on the low block and the pinch post, but also a guy who can pick up a lot of second chance points with his work on the glass. He's a 20 and 10 double-double guy for a reason. We'll have our hands full trying to slow him down. Guys, back to you.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Here's Conley. He's got 5. It's Prince on the wing. Here's Conley. Back to Prince. Outside Conley. And stolen by Pekovic. 3 on 3. Here's Martin. Knocked loose.
Just cannot find the rhythm. Still yet to hit a shot this quarter.
And a wide open look for Lee. Tries again. Shot is off. So Minnesota will take it the other way. And he gets it to go.
Did you see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket?
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
Well, Marc Gasol missed some time last season with injury, but you can see just how important he is to a team when he's gone. The Grizzlies were nowhere near as imposing when he was sidelined by injury.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Kuvas checked in for Gasol. Carter comes in for Zach Randolph. Tony Allen's checked in for Courtney Lee. And it's Nick Calathes in for Mike Conley. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Jang, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Brewer comes in for Wiggins. J.J. Barea's checked in for Kevin Martin. And it's Williams in for Ricky Rubio.
And for Marc Gasol, last season a grade 2 MCL sprain. No surgery required, but he did miss 20 games while recovering, and Memphis struggled during his absence.
They get it back. Up top, Barea, defended by Allen. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And last season for Marc Gasol, a bit of a downturn with his numbers.
Yeah, his rebounding fell off a bit, as did his shooting percentages. We'll see how he bounces back this season.
And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for Memphis.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
And the other thing we're seeing is great ball movement. We're seeing a lot of good offensive execution, ball movement, player movement, setting up assists.
And both free throws good for Barea.
J.J. Barea, quick scoring guard, great attacking off of pick and rolls. And for his size, I'll tell you what, he has an impressive ability to finish around the rim.
Timberwolves trail by 5. Williams dishes to Young. A 3-ball, and he gets the bucket. Brewer's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
And they're making this a game here, putting together a nice run.
Making it a game. How about anybody's game? I mean, they've caught fire, and it's a toss-up right now, guys.
34 seconds left to play here in the first, and it's all evened up. Brewer's got 5 now. And for Barea, at just 6 feet, a scrappy defender, Clark. He plays in close, and he's a master of drawing charges.
Yeah, you know, the league actually cracked down on him a little bit. One of the players singled out for flopping, and that's mitigated one of his best defensive weapons.
Everybody on the floor is hot. Incredible stuff here in the early stages.
Tell you what, both teams playing downhill. Who's going to blink first?
Williams kicks to Barea. Pass to Young. The feed now to Williams. Goes up to the stripe. Tips it. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. Jang's got his first basket.
Boy, nice tip in to salvage the points from the missed shot. And made it work.
Yeah, and those second chance points, Clark, they do add up.
Yes, sir.
They sure do. That's why boxing out is so important. Defensively, you can't just let a guy get to the rim and not put a body on him.
It's a Halloween broadcast of the NBA. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers take on Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls this Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. What stands out to you from the Grizzlies in this one?
Now, the key has been the rebounding department. This club dominating the paint area. And if this continues, they'll be in great shape.
Well, they've done 2 things. They've limited second chances, and they've been able to flex their muscle down low.
Grizzlies shooting 53% from the floor. They're locked in. Carter is out there with Costa Kukis. Then there's Nick Calathis. Then there's Allen. And it's Gasol. And at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the group for Memphis to kick off the second quarter. Now here's Allen. 5 on the clock. Gasol kicks to Allen. The three-pointer, no good. Minnesota shooting it really well. 54% from the floor. Here's Barea, and the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Excellent. Really solid job, actually, by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one. The Grizzlies were never picked to be a powerhouse in the West last year, but, boy, you've got to give that team and that organization an awful lot of credit because they clearly were a team that nobody out West wanted to play.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Yes, Kevin, Memphis coach Dave Yeager paid dues for years coaching in the minor leagues. But he did more than coach. He was the GM, ticket vendor, business manager, and halftime act. He said he loved the passion and spirit of that work, but there were also tough times. Guys, those struggles helped prepare him for where he is today.
A long road, but he's here now. Thanks, Doris. Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Zach Randolph's checked in for Kubic. Adams comes in for Vince Carter. Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Tony Allen. And it's Conley in for Nick Cuevas.
Well, it's Memphis' defense and ability to hang tough in close games that makes them such an unattractive opponent to many teams in the West.
And Memphis went 29-23 against the West last year, Clark, and every game seemed to be a close one.
And even when you beat Memphis, Kevin, you feel like you may have you don't feel like you lost, but you know you've really earned the victory because they grind you so hard, and they typically don't beat themselves. It's clearly one of the toughest teams in the West.
In the corner, it's Wiggins. Thiem passes to Martin. Here's Pekovic, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket. Pekovic has got it all tied up now for Minnesota.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
Conley kicks to Adams, inside to Gasol. Randolph is in.
Jack Randolph is a terrific rebounder and scorer. In his prime, you could just mark up 20 points and 12 rebounds a night, every night. He's a little bit on the downside now, but still a player you've got a game plan for.
And Randolph, now 33 years old, had that knee injury a couple seasons back.
Yeah, his rebounding remains excellent, but we've seen his scoring wane just a bit, both in volume and the percentages. Not quite the go-to scorer he was a few years back, but still very effective player.
And good on the second, so he makes them both.
Minnesota is in a bit of a difficult spot with their road games. They always have to travel a great distance to get to opposing sites because they're in the Western Conference, and that can take a toll over the course of the season.
Here's Levine. Wiggins kicks to Levine. Three-pointer, Martin tries again. The shot, no good. Gasol with the defensive effort. Memphis leading to the inside. Adams, and down it goes, jamming that one home. There it is, guys, that Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
Thiem passes to Dang. Shot from 12. It's hauled in by Adams.
I guess you could say those lengthy travel distances for Minnesota took their toll last year because the Timberwolves managed only 16 road wins a season ago.
Gasol dishes to Randolph. Misses from close range. Timberwolves trail by 4. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. And Zhang kicks to Martin. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play. Well, guys, Minnesota was close to a 500 team last year at 40-42. But as you said, struggling on the road kept them, Steve, out of the playoffs.
Well, to make the playoffs in the West, I mean, I think you have to go at least 500 on the road. And getting road wins is where Minnesota will have to improve to get back to the postseason.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Rubio's checked in. Free throw good. Levine.
Zach LaVine, a bit of a late bloomer. Wasn't a top recruit until he hit a late growth spurt in high school. Now he's a 6'5" combo guard. Came out of UCLA after one season. Still a bit unproven, but one of those upside picks because of his athleticism and shooting range.
Here is Rubio after the made shot from Zach Randolph. Pekovic with a screen, and it's Martin penetrating. Another shot. Good on that shot, and with that, the Memphis lead is cut down to just one on the bucket from Pekovic.
What an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender, giving up so much size, there's no way he's going to get a hand on it.
And Levine played point guard in high school before his growth spurt. Clark, to see him as more of a point guard or a shooting guard?
I see him as a shooting guard at this point. I mean, just based on what I saw of him in the 1 year at UCLA. Tremendous athleticism. He's a bouncy young fella. Streaky shooter at this point. But I like his energy level. He's going to be a guy that has a chance, I think, to be a really good two-way player.
Here's Adams following the score by Kevin Martin. That's good. Adams has got 6 here in this quarter. 1:41 left here in the second. Levine passes to Rubio. He dishes it to Begovic. An easy 2 points on the layup. Begovic has got the lead up to 1 now for Minnesota.
So it looks like he's finally found his footing in this game. His first quarter was a real struggle, but he's gotten it going now.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Kufis checked in for Gasol. Prince comes in for Zach Randolph. Vince Carter, he's checked in for Adams. And Tony Allen subbed in for Courtney Lee. And then for Minnesota, Young's checked in for Wiggins. Brewer comes in for Kevin Martin. And Mo Williams subbed in for Levine. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Gentlemen, as you know, Andrew Wiggins was taken as the first overall pick of a talented 2014 class, but should have no problem with the pressure. He's been hyped as the next big thing for quite some time. He said, I think playing at Kansas really prepares you for this. You're basically treated like a rock star wherever you go. I think that really translates to the NBA. Gentlemen.
Unlimited potential, Doris. Thank you very much.
You know, regardless of who starts the break, it seems like he's usually the one to finish it.
And that's because of how well he attacks the rim on the dead run.
Rubio outside. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. And it's a 5-point Timberwolves lead.
They've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
Well, and that's why they're on this run, guys. They're getting the ball inside and getting really high percentage looks.
Nobody near Allen. And again, Memphis no good.
I don't know if it's just me, but he's looked a step slow since the start of the quarter. His shooting has really suffered.
The shot by Williams no good. Rubio outside. Outside Williams on the wing. Brewer tries again. That's good on the jump shot. Brewer's got 9 points. Now Allen. Down low. It's tipped. It's taken away by Brewer. No luck. The clock runs out and we're heading to halftime. Timberwolves lead by 7. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter. Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment.
Really an extraordinary game for Brewer. 9 points, and he's come away with 2 steals as well. He's blown up some plays out there.
It shows you what an intelligent defender he can be on the ball. He really understands the game.
Checking out the group for Flip Saunders to start the second half. Rubio and Martin manning the backcourt. Pekovic is out there with Young, and it's Wiggins in at the 3, the small forward. And with that shot, the Timberwolves lead is cut to just 5 points on the basket from Gasol. Minnesota shooting well, 50% from the floor. Young sets a screen for Rubio. Doubled by Conley. And Rubio kicks to Young. No good on the 3.
Courtney Lee, not the tallest or the most athletic, but he's a good athlete, and he really competes at the defensive end of the floor. And I like him because he's versatile defensively. He can guard 1s and 2s and occasionally even some of the small forwards.
Now Rubio. Thaddeus Young missing on his 3. Lee outside. Into Zach Randolph. The jumper's good from inside 6 feet. Randolph's got 9.
Beautiful lead pass there. He let his teammate run right underneath it.
Mark, take a look at Courtney Lee at 6'5". Where would you rate him as a defender?
I think he's one of the better defenders in the league at the 2-guard position because he does have size and athleticism, and he's got pretty good understanding of how to position himself defensively, and that goes a long way towards being effective at that end of the floor. 3 straight misses here to start the second half.
And he gets it to go.
Guys, that time he went for the fancy finish for us there, man. That was sweet.
The Timberwolves have gone 0-3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second half.
Well, you know, for teams in the NBA nowadays, it's all about getting bang for your buck. I mean, Mike Conley out of Ohio State, one of the great value contracts in the league, and with all the analytics and general managers looking for value, Memphis happy to have an all-star caliber player like him still locked up through 2016.
And we've got a moment now to look at the highest scoring teams in the NBA from last season. In the 3rd spot, the Timberwolves.
I just loved how this team attacked their opponents. I mean, you could see their confidence growing as they continue to put up points on the board.
That's a 2 from Martin. Will not go. This is off the front iron. And you have to give Mike Conley, Steve, an awful lot of credit for the emergence of the Grizzlies, I think, is a factor in the Western Conference.
Kevin, I think he's one of the best point guards of the league. Probably doesn't get enough credit, but his progression as a player at both ends, year after year, he just seems to get better, and he provides that poise and leadership that his club needs.
Jang, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. The inside, and Courtney Lee gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, I love it. He gets there first, absorbs the contact. Nice play defensively.
No flop there. He took that one right in the chest.
And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. Rubio dishes to Martin. Wiggins kicks to Young. Lets it go with the 3. Another miss by Minnesota.
Ice cold here to start the 3rd quarter. 0 for 5 now, guys.
Inside to Gasol. Young with the steal. And now running it up the court. Martin pushing it up. And Wiggins gets it to go on the assist from Kevin Martin. And it's 7 points for Andrew Wiggins. The Grizzlies trail by 3. And it's Conley penetrating. And that one's good.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
Yep, that's something that the defense has to put a stop to. Maybe a defensive adjustment is necessary here.
Now, here's Rubio. Now the dish to Jang. Wiggins passes to Young. Nailed from three-point land.
A little confusion defensively.
Yeah, you know what? He sent the D a little message with that three.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. Some changes for Memphis. Adams, he's checked in for Prince. And it's Nick Calathes in for Mike Conley. And a change for the Timberwolves. J.J. Barea checked in for Ricky Rubio. The Grizzlies trail by 4. Into Marc Gasol. Puts up the baby hook. The rebound by Young. Young's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
You think about the Grizzlies, and one thing that jumps out at you is their physicality. I mean, that's a team that loves contact and has no problem being physical.
Now here's Randolph. 9 points in the game so far. And the rejection by James. In the 3rd quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Here's Wiggins. Here's Barea, and he banks in the layup. Barea's got 6. Here's Calathis. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Gasol kicks to Calathis. Drops in the tray.
You might not think of him as a laser three-point shooter, but that shot was there for him, and he had to take it.
Timberwolves leading by 3. 1:41 left to play in the 3rd. Barea kicks to Martin. Down to 5 on the shot clock. For the 3. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Right back at you. They immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading punches, that's how you answer.
And it's Lee penetrating. Jacks up a 3. And again, it's Memphis with the 3.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Minnesota's gone 2 of 5 with the 3-point shot since coming out of the break. Barea dishes to Jang. Barea, no good.
That's an easy shot there. That's a shot that he should make more often than not.
Left side, Randolph. Here's Calathis. Can't tie it up as that one's no good. Minnesota in the lead. Martin goes in. And Lee pulls it down. Lee's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
It's just been one of those days for him. He has really struggled.
Gasol kicks to Adams. Can't tie it up as that one misses. Timberwolves leading by 3. Screen by Young. Off the screen. A nice shot by Barea. Barea's got 8 points.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Feeds to Calathis. The pass to Adams. Dishes to Randolph. And stolen by Wiggins. And that does it for the 3rd quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the 4th quarter. Minnesota on top of 5. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports.
Bring your costume. It's Halloween in the NBA. Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs take on Goran Dragic and the Phoenix Suns this Friday, 10 Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific.
And let's go back to a terrific pass that we're calling tonight our State Farm assist of the game.
Well, it was a great look, and it set up a 3-point basket. He scanned the perimeter, found his teammate in space, and put the pass right on the money.
Conley and Allen are the guard set. Tayshaun Prince out there with Carter. And it's Koufos in at the 5. That's the lineup out there for the Grizzlies. Pass to Pekovic, and that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending to deflect it away.
Now, here is Young. Williams passes to Young. Just 5 to shoot. Pekovic against Carter, and that one's good. Pekovic.
That's a battle they haven't been winning today, guys. Their work on the glass has to improve.
And that's not the only thing that's gone against them.
Here's Conley to the middle. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two.
Well, you look at Kosta Koufos, drafted 23rd in 2008 by Utah after just 1 year at Ohio State. Kind of drifted around. Started in Denver. Last season he played valuable minutes in Memphis when Marc Gasol went out, and I think he's maybe found a home there.
And Koufos, a nice compliment to Marc Gasol, backing up that center position.
Well, Gasol, has that size to battle bigger centers inside, and then, Koufos, who can at times struggle in strength matchups, really has great quickness. So an excellent defender for a 7-footer, defending pick and rolls, versatility to make rotations, slide across the lane, get rebounds. This guy's a very good backup center in the league.
Now here's Williams. Back to Young. Brewer pushes to Young. They get it back. Pekovic, Young outside. Pass to Brewer. Williams against Conley. Rubio with a wide open look. And it's off from three-point range. The Grizzlies trail by 6. And it's Conley that time on the assist by Allen. 9 points for Conley.
There's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
It's just beautiful basketball to watch, Clark.
Now here's Williams. And the basket by Rubio.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. When you get a team that can play defense like the Grizz and put them in front of a friendly crowd, they can be pretty scary.
They really do tend to feed off of each other, the team and this crowd. It's a big part of why the Grizzlies have been so tough at home for so long.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
During that break, Coach Dave Yeager had some words for his team. He told his guys, I know we can do this, fellas. Let's maximize every possession and get after it. And just watch. Things will go our way. Kevin?
And thanks for that story, Doris.
And for the Grizzlies last year, very tough at home because of that defense. 27 wins here.
And now the Timberwolves on the break. Williams kicks to Young. Stolen by Conley. Koufos the pass to Allen. Outside Conley. Shot from the wing. Bullseye. Conley's got 4 this quarter.
And the Grizzlies might not be the best team in the West, but they are the team that nobody wants to play because of how good their defense is and how well they play in this building.
Minnesota calls timeout. And during this timeout, I'm sure they'll be hydrating themselves with Gatorade. All the effort out there on the floor, and these timeouts can be such a huge factor in getting a short rest and recharging the battery. Zach Randolph is checked in for Tayshaun Prince. Now here's Pekovic. He's tightly guarded. Williams dishes to Brewer. Back to Williams. The Timberwolves working the ball around them. And Young kicks to Williams. 6 to shoot. Shots good from Young. Young's got the lead up to 7 now for the Timberwolves.
It's been the story of the game for him. Fortunately, his teammates have bailed him out.
Conley, the pass to Carter. Nobody near Allen. Tried to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark.
Well, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamour stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
Now here's Pekovic. Mo Williams unable to get his shot to go, and he gets it to go.
A large part of what they've been able to do here is centered around his offense.
Conley dishes to Carter. Here's Randolph, and the powerful one-handed slam.
A high-quality shot is almost always going to come off a rebound like that.
And Clark, he is so good at working his way inside, holding off the defenders under the glass, and being in the right position.
Knows how to use his body.
Yeah, and I just like the way he persistently pursues the pumpkin.
And Minnesota has possession. The Grizzlies making the shot, and that one's good.
You know, that part of the floor, guys, is more or less his real sweet spot, right in his wheelhouse.
Stolen by Rubio. Outside Williams. Back to Rubio. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's going to be on Zach Randolph. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for Minnesota.
Their activity at the defensive end, Kevin, has been really impressive. Attacking and coming away with steals.
And, guys, the thing that jumps out at me is their block shots. I mean, they're playing up on the shooters tightly, and then they're sending them packing. I mean, putting those shots in reverse, all in a clear, good day's work.
Marc Gasol is checked in for Memphis. Prince comes in for Vince Carter. Wiggins is checked in for Minnesota. Martin comes in for Mo Williams. Prince kicks to Conley. Nobody near Allen. Off target with his three.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead. Well, you knew he'd win that race.
Definitely. I mean, that's what you call early offense.
Here's Conley following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Kicks it out to Allen. Here's Prince. Knocks down the three ball. There's 1:38 left in the game. Outside, Martin. Young, a screen on Allen. Martin kicks to Wiggins. Outside for Martin. And Young, here we go. Good! And the Timberwolves lead by 11. 1:19 left in the fourth quarter. Conley kicks to Prince. From downtown. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Young's got 7 rebounds in the game.
Well, it's the edge they've had in that area on the glass that's played a big role in this game.
Yeah, they've got some strong guys, Steve. Guys that are strong and well put together, and they've used that strength to their advantage down low.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, for Ricky Rubio, it seems there's been a little disappointment in his development as a shooter, but still room for hope and optimism. The Timberwolves were much better with him on the floor. His overall impact on the game, still undervalued, but clearly impactful.
The Grizzlies making a switch here. Lee's checked in.
Well, clearly we will not be witnessing a spirited comeback tonight, albeit as exciting as that would be. And I think this was an excellent all-around performance for the Timberwolves.
You're right, Steve. This has got to feel good. I mean, they never counted themselves out when they were down earlier. And now, Clark, they not only muscled their way back into the game, but, wow, they're in a position, shockingly, to win it easily.
I think this epitomizes the will to win. You have to admire the perseverance of never doubting your teammates, your coaches. This team stayed together. I really like what I've seen here tonight. They definitely earned this.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
Well, what a great way for them to have kicked off this season series. These two teams play twice more, and no question who's going to have the advantage in those games after what happened here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it'll play out quite that simply, though, Steve. I mean, the team coming out on the losing end of a game 1 is just that much more motivated to get even in games 2 and 3.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
Now here's Prince. Guarded close. That's in there. Conley with the assist.
It's interesting. They're like a different team now. Suddenly, They've got energy.
You know, it's not going to change anything, though, other than to make their losing margin a little more respectable.
That'll be Minnesota as it goes out of bounds. Timberwolves retain possession.
19 seconds on shot clock. 19. Substitution on the court.
Now Bennett. And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
And that'll do it for this inaugural game of the NBA season. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying we'll see you next time as we go. Let's take a look at the Jordan player of the game, Nikola Pekovic.
Well, I'm sailing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't get a message going to my head. I am what I am. Oh, baby, think you can be my girl, I'll be your man. Someone for the phone, tell her where I'm done.
The 2K Sports pregame show, presented by Sprite.
So good to have you with us. Ernie Johnson here. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, joined as always by Shaquille O'Neal. In this game, we'll see the Indiana Pacers against the Memphis Grizzlies. And for the Grizzlies, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. Hey, Dr. O'Neal, what do you make of the job that Dave Yeager has done with the Memphis Grizzlies?
He steady keeps his cool throughout any situation, Ernie. He always keeps things in perspective for his team. He keeps it light, never gets too intense on the sideline, and he always puts his players' health first.
That sounds a lot like you.
Yes, well, they call me the doctor.
Because you keep it light. You're steady. You always keep things in perspective.
Yes.
All of these things sound like you, Dr. O'Neal.
I'm changing my name to the Big Dave Yeager.
I think that's a winner. Let's go to Kevin Harlan.
Now let's meet the stars for your Pacers. At the shooting guard position, standing 6'5", number 2, Rodney Stuckey. At guard 6'2" from IUPUI, number 3, the hometown hero, George Hill. The 7'2" center out of Georgetown, wearing the double nickel, area 55. Stand up, the big dog, Roy Hibbert. At forward from Xavier University, number 21, he's a bad Frank Vogel.
Greetings, everyone. Hope you're all enjoying this. Happy Halloween. It's a special October 31st matchup in the NBA here on 2K Sports. And here we go, the battle between conferences. It's East versus West, where the Indiana Pacers will be looking to make a statement. And the Grizzlies start out with the ball. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. So on the floor for Memphis, Zebo and Marc Gasol are up front. Conley and Lee, they're the backcourt. And it's Prince in at the three. The Grizzlies, grit and grind, known for being old school, post you up and lock you down type of basketball team.
Yeah, and that front court rotation, boy, the envy of the league, in my opinion. It's a big part of what makes this team really go.
George with the bucket.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
George!
Conley with it. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Earlier I spoke with Frank Vogel. He brought up Marc Gasol, a kind of sleeper player he thinks could give them trouble. Coach said he's a guy 7 foot plus. He's very skilled, can shoot and finish over either shoulder, and he doesn't shy away from contact. He's a guy you have to really pay attention to. And I've told our guys, we can't let him have a big game. Fellas, we'll see how they do against him.
All right, Doris. Good D by Gasol.
But guys, for the Grizzlies, a new ownership group, and it seems maybe some tweaks to their identity. They look to spread the floor a bit more and pick up the tempo. But the results last season were pretty mixed.
Indiana foul call. That's his first personal foul.
The Grizzlies shooting their first free throws of the evening. That free throw good from Gasol. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
We're seeing today what makes him one of the best free throw shooters among the league's big men. Beautiful stroke.
West a screen on Prince. George passes to Hill. Floats one up. The rebound by Prince.
And, you know, the Grizzlies last season, I thought they did pick up their pace slightly, but they were still a team at the bottom of the league in that regard in terms of fast break points and pace of play. It's really hard to get away from who you've been for so long. This is more of a half-court, grinded-out team.
Here's Hill, following the score by Tayshaun Prince. Hibbert with a screen for Hill. West a screen on Prince. Stuckey into the lane, and the Pacers can't get it to go.
Certainly not the dream start they were hoping for, going 1 for 4 early.
Here's Lee. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Lee's got his second basket of the night.
Crisp pass into the paint.
The Pacers have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Hill kicks to Stuckey. West setting the pick for Stuckey. Stolen by Michael Conley. Prince outside. Some nice passing there by Memphis. Offensive rebound, Randolph. And he gets it to go. Randolph's got his first basket of the night.
Everything going according to the script for them offensively so far.
Yeah, the shots have been falling, that's for sure. The offense really in a good groove. Well, Zach Randolph enjoying the best years of his career.
Oh, how about that basketball, man? Beautiful. Wow. Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how Clark, brilliant throwdown.
Yeah, just exerting his authority out there.
Conley against Hill. Conley kicks to Gasol. And stolen by Hibbert. Outside, George. And we're We're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter.
And the defense looking to protect the rim at all costs.
See, I like that. A foul to save the layup. Make him earn it at the line.
Paul George.
And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for the Grizzlies.
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
Yeah, their passing has been terrific, too. Clark, we're seeing a lot of assists, really moving, a lot of flow offensively. I like what I see.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, Paul George, PG 24, has solidified himself as a quality shooter from long range, but I love the way he looks to attack the basket. Needs to do that more often and more efficiently. He uses his length and athleticism to get to the basket and to the free throw line. He has such terrific form and consistency on his free throws. Beautiful to watch.
Nobody near Allen. And that one falls coming off Conley's feet. Allen's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Pacers trail by 6. And for Paul George last season, he says he's really worked on his isolation offense, attacking Steve from the elbow and the mid-post.
Yeah, I think he got a lot better there. Kevin, just kind of that triple threat jump shot or one dribble pull-up. But that's a double-edged sword, too. There were times last year where he was a bit of a ball stopper, so he's got to find that balance between ball movement and the ability to attack in an ISO situation.
Skoll with it, guarded now by Randolph. Outside Hill. And there's the pass to George. Got a piece of it, stolen by Randolph. And here we go, the Grizzlies on a fast break. And Conley gets it to go, the assist by Randolph.
Nice pass, that one was right on target.
The Pacers have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Conley against Hill. George with the screen on Conley. Hill drives in. West trying to free himself up, using his post move to get the 2 points.
Well, you just can't give him that kind of position in the post.
I tell you what, when he gets it in that tight, he's going to bury those.
So timeout called here. The first for Memphis, coming off that loss against the Timberwolves.
I know that's a game they'd like to forget. Sort of a tough day for them all around.
Yeah, I don't see any reason they won't be able to rebound from it pretty quickly, though. I mean, this team throughout the season has shown itself to be pretty resilient.
It's one thing to say that you did it. It's one thing to lie about your digits. It's one thing to say that you live it. It's another to admit it. But I admit I got all this paper, plus the prettiest faces that's offered by nature. I drive a case, but
Some changes for Indiana. Mahaney's checked in for West. C.J. Miles comes in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Watson in for George Hill. Memphis also making some changes. Carter comes in for Lee. And it's Nick Calathis in for Mike Conley. And the Grizzlies leading by 4. Calathis kicks to Allen. Kufis inside. Mahaney on him. And it's Kufis missing. Outside Scola. Outside George. The dish to Mahaney. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Well, last season the fans in Indiana finally came back in bunches to support their hometown Pacers. They're in the top 10 in attendance, up from 25th in 2013.
Well, Clark, you look at the low attendance numbers for the Pacers in years past, from 2007 to 2012. They averaged the second worst in the league. I think that surprised a lot of people.
It really did. It surprised me and the rest of the organization as well. Yet that corresponds with the seasons that the Pacers actually dipped below 500, and there wasn't a lot of promise on the horizon. With the Pacers winning now, and from what I hear, the TV ratings are also over double. Actually, I know the TV ratings for that team have doubled up since 2012, so things are headed in the right direction now.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2.
You know, Memphis had a good road record overall, kept it above 500 despite a really sluggish start to the season and then losing Marc Gasol for a while due to a knee. They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And that's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Allen dishes to Calathis. Three-pointer, and he gets the bucket. And it's 6 points for Allen. Now George, 20 points for him last game against Philadelphia.
You know, he was getting foul time and again in that game, really delivering from the free throw line. Made a major contribution there.
Here's Carter, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Grizzlies lead by 4. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break.
Coming up Tuesday, November 4th, Dwight Howard and the Houston Rockets go up against Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. Be there.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And looking at what we've seen from the Grizzlies, what do you guys think?
It was pretty impressive the way they moved the ball, made the extra pass, and found open shooters that whole quarter.
Yeah, it's been a complete team effort out there. Great to watch.
Pacers trail by 4. So on the floor for Memphis. Carter is out there with Tayshaun Prince. Then there's Nick Calathis. And it's Marc Gasol. And it's Adams and it's shooting guard. Hibbert the pass to George. Shoots from the corner. And it's good. George has got the opening basket here in the second quarter for Indiana.
And after that last game, Clark, I'm not surprised to see him so hot. He's got it rolling right now. Boy, Hibbert really an all-around contributor at the center position. An elite rim protector. He can pass, post up, and even knock a shot down from the high post. He really does a lot of things to help you win.
And Hibbert with the nice soft touch on that hook shot. With his height, you're not going to block that one.
You're exactly right, Kevin. He's got a really nice touch. One of the better free throw shooters among big men in the league as well.
Rodney Stuckey's checked in for George. He hits the second from the line. Well, you wondered how things would go for the Pacers after they had a hiccup midseason. Had to call players only needed.
And did so very close to the playoffs, Kevin. This team struggled because of its youth in handling the extra scrutiny and the burden of expectations. And it took them a while to kind of figure it out. And weren't quite as good as they wanted to be during the playoffs.
Grizzlies making a switch here. Conley's checked in.
And you can see how it affected the team early on in the playoffs. The Hawks took them to 7 games. They had some trouble with Washington. Definitely seemed like they had some issues to figure out.
It was a little strange to see a coaching change for the Grizzlies last year after they were a playoff team, but it worked out for them.
Yeah, I was surprised by that as well. I thought Lionel Hollins did a terrific job. A lot of people questioned what they were thinking, making that switch, but they were able to keep the momentum going after losing Gasol for a segment of the season due to a knee injury.
And Miles kicks to Watson. He feeds it to Hibbert. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And for the Grizzlies, changing their head coach prior to last season, it can be a big risk, but they needed to do something, they felt, and it worked out well for them.
Well, with Memphis, when you change coaches, particularly after a playoff run, it doesn't always work out in your favor. Denver found that out last year, but things went well for the Grizzlies even after a slow start.
And it's tied up with that one.
Roy Hibbert, the big dog, number 55 for the Pacers, is 7'2", and is a little too big for king-size beds. Every time the Pacers go on the road, he has to take along a special inflatable mattress that he likes to sleep on. It's one of the downsides to living large.
David West, he's checked in for Indiana. Hill comes in for C.J. Watson. Lee dishes to Prince. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam. This game's going to take a big swing. Clark at the D continues to clear out like that and give up easy dunks.
Yeah, that's the kind of defense we expect to see in a blowout, Kevin, or even an exhibition game, not a close game like this.
Look how frustrated Steve is over.
Well, I just, you know what, come on, I just like that he didn't choose to just lay it up there. I mean, he threw it down with force.
5 on the clock. Stuckey drives inside, and the shot is good. Stuckey's got the lead up to 1 now for the Pacers. And Hibbert's father stands 6'2", and Steve, his mother, is 6'1". But Roy obviously towers over both of them.
Well, he towers over everybody, Kevin. I mean, you know, you look at the family roots. His parents came from the Caribbean, and Roy actually played one game for the Jamaican national team back in 2010. And unfortunately, that actually may rule him out of playing for Team USA. So a very interesting sort of international background there.
Lee outside. And it's Conley penetrating. Back to Lee. Fires for 3. They grab their own miss. Prince, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, Tayshaun Prince, a terrific player in his time with that championship Detroit Pistons team of years past, but his decline over the last 5 years has been noticeable. Ever since he hit 30, it's been downhill.
And for Prince, now 34 years of age, with this season and next left on his contract.
Yeah, still a smart veteran who doesn't make many mistakes, but it's certainly clear that his best days are behind him.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. And this is the first season matchup for them against the Grizzlies.
Well, they thought they'd handled this club last year both times, but they actually split the 2 season meetings.
We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Miles the pass to Stuckey. Banked in off the glass. Stuckey's got his second bucket. You know, you would think, as you said, Steve, that no matter what building they were in, this is a team they should have beaten both times.
It probably had a little something to do with the fact that they're just not a very familiar opponent. I mean, that's one way to look at it.
The shot's good from Gasol. Gasol's got the game tied up here for the Grizzlies.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. An up and down season for the Pacers in 2013-2014. Hot out of the gates, they faltered down the stretch amidst some finger-pointing and accusations of selfishness. The ball seemed to stick, and their offense bogged down. David West said, at times, we play a bad brand of basketball. Guys, we'll see if they can get back on track.
Their defense is top-notch, Doris. Offensively, that's where they have to improve. Now a timeout called by Memphis. Clark, going back to the Pacers offense, how do they make that improvement?
Well, you know, we saw it back in the finals, Kevin. Great passing is the key to outstanding offense, whether it's bringing in more playmaking or making it a focus. They've got to find a way to get the ball moving, and I really think it comes back to guys being willing to get rid of the ball quickly and know that it'll find them if they get open again.
Lee against Stuckey. The drive by Lee. This one for three. And it's Roy Hibbert with the rebound. Hibbert's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Hill kicks to Miles. West down low. Guarded by Prince. Outside for Miles. Dishes it to Stuckey. Down to 5 on the shot clock.
2 minutes. 2.
Hibbert inside. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That's on Tayshaun Prince. The Pacers have gone 5 of 7 from the free throw line in the game.
Well, pretty good numbers for this club a year ago, Kevin. 78% as a team from the free throw line.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
Luis Scola, he's checked in for the Pacers. Paul George comes in for C.J. Miles, so he gets them both. The Grizzlies trail by 4. Conley dishes to Allen. Back to Conley. Courtney Lee is on the wing. Conley kicks to Allen. And another miss by Memphis.
Well, the Pacers gave up a lot to acquire Luis Scola from Phoenix last season, especially for a player who probably didn't fit in the Suns' plans anyway. He gave up Miles Plumlee, Gerald Green, and a first-round pick. That shows you how highly they thought of the Argentine power forward.
Conley the pass to Prince, kicks to Kufis, and stolen by Hibbert. Stuckey with it. Conley picks him up. Outside Scola. 1:04 left in the first half. And that one's good, George. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for Indiana.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
A nice shot by Kufis. And here is Hill. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Philadelphia.
And his work on the glass, certainly noteworthy. And he contributed in a number of ways.
From 6 away. And the bucket is good from Hibbert in deep. Hibbert's got the lead up to 6 now for the Pacers.
Boy, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
Now the story is points in the paint, Clark. I mean, they're getting point-blank shots every time down.
And it's Kufis missing. The Pacers have gone 7 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Hill kicks to Stuckey. It's back to Hill. Indiana moving the ball around. And George, here we go. And it's blocked by Conley. Allen dishes to Prince. It's stolen by Hill. From half court, shot misses. And so that brings the first half to a close. Pacers out in front, leading by 6. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, David, a great first half that demonstrates a lot of the evolution of this team. As a veteran of this group, can you tell us a bit about the concepts that have helped this cohesion?
You know, we've developed some good habits, creating an identity, but we just got to continue to try to make the right play every single time, and then the game will speak for itself.
David, thank you. Guys, Coach would point directly to this guy as to what this team is all about.
Thanks, Doris. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter started. And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
He went off in the first 2 quarters, guys, as he's capable of doing. We might see some changes here in the defensive approach they use on him in the second half.
Yeah, they've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him like he has been.
Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a win against the 76ers.
I thought the way they attacked the rim and got into the paint was phenomenal. It seemed like after a while, the defense just kind of waved the white flag.
That's exactly what will happen when a team continues to attack the goal and come away with layups. It demoralizes the defense.
Down low, Weston Hibbert. Rodney Stuckey out there with George Hill. And it's George in at the 3, the small forward. That's the group starting the second half for Frank Vogel. Grizzlies last season acquiring Courtney Lee, Clark, in a trade with the Celtics.
You know, they were in a bit of a catch-22 type situation. They had athletic wing defenders and long-range shooters, but they didn't have a lot of players who could do both. So they got Courtney Lee, and he's played big minutes for them because he can do both.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, gentlemen, the Pacers head coach Frank Vogel has helped turn this team into a powerhouse. He's had a reputation for positivity, lifting his players up and boosting their confidence. As Paul George put it, coach has no shame in calling you out. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get embarrassed. No one wants that, Kevin.
He'll call you out, Doris, that's for sure, thanks. Conley gets the bucket.
And Courtney Lee acquired in exchange for Jared Bayless. You know, he started as mostly a corner three-point shooter, but he's expanded his range and now can shoot from pretty much anywhere along the arc.
And the Pacers call time here.
And you talk about Courtney Lee's shooting. Come on now. Excellent numbers last season from the field, the arc, and the free throw line. Arguably his best season yet overall.
He's checked in for Tayshaun Prince.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? First in opponent shooting percentage. Second in opponent points per game. And they also showed up in the top 5 in blocks. A good, solid team at the defensive end of the floor.
And Clark, you know this. I mean, anytime you see a team #1 in the NBA in field goal percentage defense, you know they're getting after it. So this is a club that plays extremely hard. They take great pride in their defense. They have a concerted plan, a concerted effort every single night to try to stop the opposing team.
Lee passes to Randall. West with some nice D. Indiana leading by 5. And George kicks to Hill. George against Lee. George dishes to West. And George, here we go. Can't connect from short range.
That's kind of a shocker. The defense was there, but it wasn't right in his face. Kind of out of character for him to miss those.
Pass to Hill. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Here's George. 11 feet out, and he hits it. George has got 15.
Looked like the defense kind of backed off him, and he took advantage.
Conley, the pass to Clark. And again, Memphis, no good.
You know, you can make a case for a lot of teams being elite defensively in the NBA, but if you just take a look at the pure numbers, last year the Pacers were really in a class of their own.
And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. And some changes here for the Pacers. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. C.J. Miles comes in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Watson in for Hill. Memphis also making some changes. Adams, he's checked in for Lee. And it's Nick Calathis in for Mike Conley.
Well, class of their own is right for the Pacers. Second best points allowed, best opposing field goal percentage. They really did it all last year defensively.
They set the pick. Watson with it. Adams on him. And he banks in the layup. Watson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
No, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it.
Calathis gets the bucket. You mentioned the Pacers and their defense. It's something they take a ton of pride in.
Yeah, they do, Kevin, because they want guys that can defend their position without much help, because the system they play is predicated on being able to guard your guy one-on-one and then have good team help in the right places, and they do take a lot of pride in that part of the game.
Mahimi was trying to free himself up, and a missed layup.
You know, not only is the game neck and tight, but the rebounding battle is too. Extremely close on the boards.
Yeah, both teams have really put in a terrific effort down low.
Pacers leading by 3. Watson kicks to Miles. Pass to Watson. Outside, George. Shot from free throw range. It's rebounded by Memphis.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Coathis, no luck.
And they forced the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
Feeds it to Adams. Randolph kicks to Carter. Adams dishes to Carter. Here's Coathis. 6 on the shot clock. That's in there. Carter with the assist. Coathis has got the game tied up here for Memphis. For Indiana, they've gone a somewhat subpar 4 of 10 on their shots in the second half so far. And Miles kicks to Watson. Picked by West. The feed to George. Tries yet again. And the layup good by West. And the Pacers lead by 2.
Giving them an opportunity at second chance points with some hard work on the glass there.
Coathis kicks to Carter. Stolen by George. He dishes it to Watson. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the strike for 2.
That's his second personal foul.
C.J. Watson at 6'2" is an outstanding shooting combo guard. He's an excellent marksman from behind the three-point line, which helps his team space the floor, but he's also an underrated defender.
The free throw drops for Watson. And for Watson, between his outside shooting guys and his solid defense, he makes a nice backup.
Yeah, pretty good at getting into the passing lanes and coming up with steals. You know, a player who spent a little time in the D-League out of college and now has really solidified his place as an NBA player.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Scola comes in for West. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for C.J. Miles. Pacers leading by 3. Watson with it. He kicks it to George. The rebound by Prince. Prince has got 4 rebounds now tonight. Nobody near Allen. No good on the buzzer beater. 3/4 of play in a close game here. Pacers lead by 3. And we'll have the start of the 4th quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Yes, sir.
The new season in the NBA rolls on. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks take on LaMarcus Aldridge and the Portland Trailblazers next Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific.
On and take to her knees and call me in the morning. She see the way to change.
And a chance right now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Well, today it comes from one of the men in the middle. Kevin, let me tell you, anytime you get a big man who can pass like this, it really changes the way you can play offense, diversifies your offensive attack.
Let me ask, who is the best passing big man you played with?
Luke Longley.
Oh, the Australian.
Yes, big redhead, good passer down on the low block.
The number 1 pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And here are the Grizzlies now. It's a 3-point game on the court for Memphis to start the 4th. Conley and Lee, they're the backcourt. Allen is out there with Tayshaun Prince. And it's Koufos in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And he gets it to go. Koufos has got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for Memphis.
Love the way he fought for that putback. You know, he's willing to put in a lot of hard work in this game, no doubt about that.
Outside, George. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. Stuckey's got his third assist on the night.
Not trying to rattle any rims or racks there. Just up and in with the finger roll.
Here's Allen. An easy 2 points on the layup.
You know, size-wise, this is not a great one-on-one matchup for him, but he got that shot to go.
But you wouldn't know it by how he finished. That's a nice hoop there.
Hill kicks to George. Bricks the dunk off the deceptive pump fake. Finally into the lane. And that one's good. And the Grizzlies lead by 1. Game winding down, and they just keep changing leads.
Absolutely. I mean, 6 lead changes here so far.
Steve, exciting stuff.
Yeah, this is a fun game to watch. Which team can kind of extend a lead and make a couple of big plays here, try to seize momentum. We'll see.
Hill kicks to Hibbert. Scola sets a screen for Stuckey. Outside Hill. Shot clock at 6. Poke loose. The drive by Allen. Here's Lee. Here's Koufos. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Grizzlies?
Their activity at the defensive end, Kevin, has been really impressive. Attacking and coming away with steals.
Yeah, I think you also have to give them a lot of credit for how well they've risen up to meet shooters, to challenge shots in this game. A lot of blocked shots tonight.
Timeout called the Pacers.
Well, Costa Koufos was a player the Grizzlies had coveted for a couple of seasons. They ended up trading Jarrell Arthur for him. And I think what they got, a starting caliber center, good value on his contract, excellent defender, really good trade for Memphis.
Some changes for Memphis. Marc Gasol is checked in for Koufos, and Zach Randolph is subbed in for Allen. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He told them, this is it, fellas. Let's hit them right out of this timeout. Put some pressure on them. Show them how much you want it. Let's go get it. Guys, he's really exhorting them to give them a burst of energy.
Thank you, Doris. And Koufos, a great rebounder, has a nice hook shot to score inside.
Yeah, he's not really a floor spacer. He's not a guy that's going to step out and knock down deep perimeter shots, even though he does have European heritage as a player and man. But he did have a great field goal percentage in Denver, and we'll see if he can get back to that kind of shooting in Memphis.
The three from George. Here's Hibbert. Nails the baby hook. And the Pacers lead by 1. And Clark, we've seen some great competition in this one.
I agree with you, Kevin. I mean, looking at the lead changes really kind of tells the story of this game.
Yeah, what's that, 7 lead changes already here? So this is a great matchup. There's 2 competitive teams going at it.
None of the defenders wanted anything Clark to do with him on that jam.
And I do not blame him at all, partner. He was coming in with a bunch of steam and was ready to posterize whoever decided to get in his way.
All right, I understand, fellas, but come on. You've got to challenge him a little bit at least.
Stuckey with it. Guarded now by Randolph. Hill kicks to George. Good, and Hill picking up the assist. 20 points here for George.
That's pretty much been the norm for them. Getting their points off assists and great ball movement.
Nice rhythm and flow for this team. Tremendous communication and alertness.
Conley for 3, and that is good.
Oh, they've come out of halftime just smoking hot from behind the arc.
Hey, trust me on this one, partner. They are going to continue to let them fly.
And it's Hill penetrating. Here's Hibbert. Second chance shot. Goes up again, and the basket by Scola.
Wow, fans just getting their money's worth tonight. Really entertaining ball game.
It has been. The margin separating these teams has been paper thin.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies.
Well, he's got to get everybody on the same page. I mean, that's the reason for this timeout. And if that happens, I think they can improve and start playing better.
You know, it's a coach's job to always try to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the opponent and to look for that extra edge if you can. And I think he feels like he might have seen one.
West is checked in for the Pacers.
David West.
For Memphis, they've gone 6 of 9 on their field goal attempts since the start of the fourth quarter. Here's Conley. Tries again. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they've chased down that pumpkin often.
At the line for the Grizzlies, Mark Gasol. Shooting one.
And that one falls for Mark Gasol.
Indiana has its hands full guarding against Gasol.
He has 8 points, and he's done his job at the charity stripes. He's got 4 of his points from there.
And that's a good place to get them. You know, they don't come easier than that, but you've got to get yourself there first.
And that one's good. George.
Well, he's found his game and his rhythm this quarter. He's gotten into a nice groove.
Conley kicks to Prince. No good on the three. Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. George passes to West. West to screen on Prince. Hill with it. Guarded now by Randolph. And George, here we go. Up again, and then Hibbert with the dunk. And the Pacers lead by 2.
Well, this team has really been on the offensive glass here in the second half, doing an outstanding job. And that's one of the reasons they're on top.
Conley dishes to Lee. This one for 3, and Conley gets it to go. The assist by Lee. 13 points for Mike Conley.
Yeah, guys, it's his consistent shooting that's really helped get his team into a position they're in right now.
And the Pacers call time here. They're down by 1. 1:19 left in the fourth quarter. Left in the fourth quarter. Here's Hibbert, and it is flushed down with a nice jam. Time running low, guys, and somebody has got to win this one.
You know, quite honestly, Kevin and Steve, I mean, this game, as close as it's been, you really hate to see it come to an end.
I agree.
Well, then let's root for overtime. Why not?
Here's Lee outside, and again it's Memphis with the 3.
Another lead change. How many of these are we going to have?
I don't know, Steve, but the momentum of this game has certainly swung like a pendulum.
Hill kicks to George. Here's Hibbert. And it's going to be 2 free throws. True contact on the shot.
Just an amazing game for Hibbert. 8 rebounds, and the steals are starting to pile up for him also.
They sure have, and clearly he's gotten in their heads because of it, Clark. You guys are looking over their shoulder now, always worrying about where he is.
At the line for 2.
First free throw is good, and that narrows the gap to 1. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
Getting it done at the line as he usually does. And that could be huge in a tight game like what we have here.
Hill against Conley. The drive by Lee. Fires from the wing. Again, the miss by Lee.
And that's a shot he had to take.
For sure, it was a good decision with this poor execution. Shot after shot, one after the other. PG, Paul George, making it happen.
We've got 33 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Lee outside. It's taken away by Stuckey. Passes it to Hill. Back to Stuckey. George passes to Stuckey.
Defensive foul. That's his second personal foul.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
Rodney Stuckey.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Well, that's going to be it. Great work at the charity stripes. That'll close this game out.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies. They're losing by 4. There's 14 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. There's 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. It's stolen by West, and they stop the clock as soon as they can with the intentional foul.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
George Hill. 2 shots.
And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And he does get the second one, and that puts them up by 5. Now a timeout called by Memphis. They're behind by 5. 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, this one is far from over. If they can get a quick score here and then a fast foul as well.
I'll tell you what, free throws become tougher with the game on the line, so a few missed ones here, and they could get right back in it.
And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss.
George Hill. At the line for 2.
He's able to hit the second one, and that increases their lead to 6. Conley for 3. Missed. So it's Indiana picking up the win. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. And now let's go over to Doris Burke on the sideline for an interview with the Jordan Player of the Game. Doris, take it away.
Guys, Paul George standing by with me here. And Paul, first, congratulations on the win. What's the attitude you have as a team right now?
Continue to play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Paul, thank you so much. Guys, over to you.
Doris, thank you. And for Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our great 2K Sports crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us as Jordan presents our player of the game, Paul George.